latest on the succession dispute in the Balobedu Kingdom, ANC MP Dr. Mathole Mostshekga is disputing the legitimacy of the Modjadji regent, that's Prince Mpapatla Modjadji. Mostshekga is arguing that because Limpopo Premier Stan Mathabatha has failed to review the position every year, as required by law, Prince Mpapatla's regency should be revoked. He's also seeking to reverse a decision taken by the Royal House of Modjadji to appoint Lekulela Modjadji as king of the Balobedu people. Mostshekga maintains that Prince Masalanabo is the rightful heir to the throne. That motion was prepared by former ANC Treasurer General Mathews Phosa, who joins us now via our video link for a bit more details on this. Bob Phosa, it's great to see you. Thanks very much for making time for us here on the AM report. So in my mind, there are kind of two, call it salient views on what is actually at play here. There's a faction, call it of the family of society, that believes that the heir to the throne has always been known, and it's just a matter of following the law to ensure that they're ascending to the throne. Whilst another faction is of the view that it's actually the royal family that can always decide at any stage who must take up the throne once it's vacated for whatever reason. Where on that spectrum do we locate Dr. Mostshekga's stance?
It's very simple. Dr. Mostshekga is the legal custodian of Queen Masalanabo elect. And this was decided by court of law, and I don't want to spend more time on that. The big story here for us, and that's why we're going to court, is to assert the right of Queen-elect Masalanabo the 7th as the queen of the Balobedu people. The Tolo Commission, which is a state commission, took that decision after a lot of inquiry and historical research in the matter. Whoever wants to change that decision of the commission should take it on review and not take the law in their own hands, which is what happened here. The gentlemen at the Balobedu Royal House took the law into their own hands, which is very unacceptable, to try and change a legal commission's findings. Not only did the findings of the commission declare that Queen-elect Masalanabo is the rightful king and queen of the Balobedu people, President Zuma then accepted that report. Subsequently, President Cyril Ramaphosa, our current president, also accepted it. In fact, at a public gathering in Balobedu, he said, "I am happy to be in the presence of the Queen-elect Masalanabo the 7th. So the two presidents and the commission pronounced on the matter. So it becomes a modern royal coup to try and dismount her from the throne. It's not going to be allowed. And secondly, which is your point of departure, and that's a second issue for us. Who tried to do that? Prince Mpapatla and his colleagues there at the Royal House. Instead of sitting down with Dr. Mostshekga and discussing the matter in the traditional African way and custom in-house, they decided to have dramatic press conferences and pretended to be disowning or dethroning Queen Masalanabo the 7th. It's of no force and effect in law. And in fact, Prince Mpapatla's regency should have been renewed every 12 months in terms of the law in the province of Limpopo. It wasn't. It doesn't. He's been sitting on that regency for 17 years. I challenge him to prove, document that his regency was renewed 17 times. He will never be able to prove that. Even if he proves it, he cannot overrule the findings of the commission, which was accepted by the two presidents.
So as far as you're concerned, if the legitimacy even of the regent hasn't been where it should be, how do we make sense of what the status of the throne is at the moment?
Well, you wait the court decision. We have mounted a beautiful court decision yesterday, and the court will affirm the findings of the Tolo commissions, and it will also affirm the finding of the two presidents. I don't see why the court will go against a legal commission which is operating within our constitutional framework. They took a chance with respect. The advice they should get is sit down in-house, discuss this matter. If there's something wrong which Dr. Mostshekga did, correct him and let's move on. Stop this drama in the media.
You're speaking to something that I think everybody is also wondering about, and that's the relationship between Dr. Mostshekga, the family, and Princess Masalanabo. I mean, if Dr. Motshekga is the legal guardian of the princess as we wait for her to be of age so that she can take over the throne, help us connect the dots around his interest in what is, in many people's minds, an issue for the royal house and the Balobedu people.
Well, you should ask them, but the fact of the matter, on the evidence given at court, with them being there at court, that was decided that he is the legal guardian. And I'm not going to challenge that decision of the court on a television station. If one wants to challenge it, they must go to court again. We're living in a constitutional state.
Mm. I wonder, once, let's say, you have your way through court, what that would mean for the reign of Princess Masalanabo, given her age, if that matters, right? She'd still be pretty young. But also the warring that's taken place in the lead up to that. I mean, what kind of consideration is made over the kind of family council that she'd have to govern over, a council which in many respects might even be against her being there?
Well, there are many people who love their queen-elect. Balobedis are very proud people who respect their custom, their tradition and history, like all other tribal groups in this country. So they don't want to be insulted in this manner. They would prefer that we follow protocol. We'll ask the court to create space for a new royal council to be put together, regulate matters, and a regent to be appointed. It doesn't matter who it is. At the end of the day, the law is very clear on that issue, and that's not what we are debating now. What we are debating now is whether or not they acted correctly, they acted wrongly. Yeah.
In that realm, I had also heard that there had been, call it, contestations around whether or not the current Royal Council has been correctly constituted. Is that a consideration that you are making as you head to court? And if you find that it has been correctly constituted, in what ways does that change even just your lines of argument?
I want to tell you that I want to set them aside as incorrectly constituted.
On what basis?
They have no local standard to take a decision of that matter.
On what basis are they incorrectly constituted?
Just check when they were constituted and by who.
Tell us a bit more.
They constituted themselves in a manner which did not follow tradition and custom.
Okay.
I don't want to attack them. I want the law to take its course. Let's contest this thing in the court space. And there's no doubt that Queen-elect Masalanabo VII will emerge victorious.
It's not about attacking them, Phosa. It's about trying to ascertain on what basis what they're saying will be illegitimate. And I think they'll appreciate that as well. So if their constitution, if their being a council is in and of itself to be questioned, then obviously what follows is that whatever decision they take will be questioned. That's all I'm asking you to help us understand.
That's what we say in our papers. That it's just the elders in the area of royalty who put themselves together and call themselves a royal council. They are not even a royal council from our point of departure.
So insofar as you're concerned, there isn't even a royal council as we speak?
Nothing.
Wow. Those are pretty important remarks that I think will have pretty far-reaching ramifications. Help understand the court process that is likely to unfold then. My understanding is that those papers haven't been filed yet.
Well, let me assist you away from misinformation. The papers were served through various means, and you can talk to the sheriff. The sheriff will laugh at you.
When is the case likely to begin? What I'm trying to get at is, we know there was a specific amount of time before Princess Masalanabo was old enough to take the throne. Well, is there a possibility that this court case will be continuing past the age when she can legitimately take the throne?
Not at all. Past COVID, there's a way in which you put the cases on through the registrar. And that's where we are. The registrar will give us the date, and we all must comply with the registrar's date. And I'm happy, I'm patient, but before end of August, we'll have been in court.
All right. Well, okay, that's going to leave a lot of people scratching their heads, I must admit. Many people won't forgive me if I don't ask you, whilst we have you on the line, your take on a separate issue. Of course, your exchange with a former constitutional judge, Zak Yacoub, around the step-aside resolution has gotten a lot of people talking. We understand you've been able to get past your differences. Where do things stand as we speak now between you and him?
I thought we made it clear, we made up, and that's the end of the matter.
All right. Thanks very much indeed for your time. Really appreciate it. That there is Mathews Phosa, former ANC Treasurer General, speaking to him in his capacity as the legal representative of Dr. Mostshekga, who is, of course, we now know and have always known, quite frankly, is the legal guardian of Princess Masalanabo Modjadji, who some argue is the rightful heir to the throne. This, of course, as the succession dispute over who is meant to lead the Balobedu kingdom continues. Mathew's Phosa, thanks very much indeed.